Welcome to Susie's Secret Recipes and Little Country Store. And so, guys, today happens to be my husband's birthday, and actually, he is 60 years old. And so, I thought, you know what? I ought to interview him. He has his own construction business, but he's done a lot of work on this farm home that we have. And so I thought, it would be neat to interview him and let him show you some of the things that he's done on the outside of the home and some of the things that he's added to our place, actually. And then a lot of the furniture inside my house he built. And so I'm going to interview him and just here in just a little bit. So hang with me and we'll get this show on the road. This is my husband, Richard Hyde, and Richard and I have been married for a little over 21 years. We've been together for 22. And the house that we live in, my old farmhouse, which I absolutely love, Richard has done a lot of work on it. On the inside to the inside of the furniture that we have, and even my greenhouse and things that are outside. And so I'm going to let him talk about some of this and show you some of the things that he has built. And so, Richard, I hand it over to you.
Well, hello, folks. Yes, I've been in construction pretty much all my life. I started out doing construction with my dad and my grandpa. They both did a lot of construction, and I was always there to help them out when they needed help. And they taught me a lot. And after school, graduated, we worked for a construction company, a local one here in Purcell, for several years. And then I worked my way on up into Oklahoma City, trimming houses. And we started out trimming up some 150 condos up in the city. And that was quite the ordeal there, right out of high school to that. So I have always built stuff for people and trimmed houses and built cabinets and everything else, from porches to you name it. And so anyway, when we bought our house here, it needed some improvements. And so anyway, I started out with the porch outside, and it was just kind of a blah porch at first. And so I came up with the ideas of putting in some hand railing and some new deck boards that don't have to be maintained at all. I like these man-made boards because people I do not like to paint. I like to build stuff, but I don't like to paint, so everything I try to do is to where I don't ever have to mess with it again. So anyway, we're going to go around and kind of show you some of these things that I have done over the years, and to make this house what it is now. Alrighty, folks, this is the house that we bought 16 years ago. We have made a huge lot of improvements on this piece of property since we have bought it. We'll start out, we put this picket vinyl fence. Again, I do not like to paint, so it's all vinyl. So, and then we moved on into, at that time, built this arbor. And so anyway, you walk through the arbor, and we poured a lot of sidewalks around this place. It goes all the way around the house, pretty much all the way to my shop. But anyway, this porch, I went in, gutted the whole thing pretty much, and ended up putting new railing, new deck boards. Them are the man-made deck boards that never have to be messed with. New steps, and made it all where you see today. So, and that looks pretty good. Looks like an old farm home, and that's what the site that we was looking for. Then if we go on around the corner of the house, Sorry about the sun if it's glaring in your eyes, folks. I had purchased all these poles, and you can hear my dogs are barking. They're going nuts. But anyway, we got these poles, and they are electric poles, actually, is what they are. And I brought them home, and we wanted an area for us or the kids and the whole family could get together. And so we built this thing here. The poles are 8 foot above out of the ground, then the poles around the top, and we've got 4 6-foot porch swings and 2 6-foot benches. And these are benches, and everything's made out of cypress wood, so they'll last forever. And I got a end of a 500-gallon propane tank and made a fire pit out of that. So anyway, we use this a lot with the children and their grandkids when they all come out, and we have a wonderful time out here. After we bought this house, it was probably about roughly a month after we bought it, we realized we wanted a bigger living room. So I ended up building a 24 by 30 foot living room, which got an 8 foot by 24 long porch across the end, screened in porch. And we used to sit out here a lot. Well, we still do some, but now it's more than anything is a house for our lovely basset hounds. That is my little darling Molly, and this old hound dog over here, that is my old man Jack. We really enjoy that big living room, especially in the holidays when all the kids and the grandkids come over. We have room for everybody. And so anyway, all the flowers are kind of getting on their last end of their legs, so they sure look pretty though. She keeps our house looking good. I built originally a 28 by 50 shop, and then I did all of my construction work out of that shop. We ended up, gosh, I couldn't tell you how many sets of cabinets that I have built out of this old shop. Then we ended up, I would say probably about 8 years ago, me and my youngest boy, Austin, we ended up starting up a company called Hydro Customs Hydrographics. If you on Facebook, you can look it up, and you'll know exactly what it is I'm talking about. Anyway, I ended up adding an office and a paint booth area on the side of my shop, which is a 12 by 45 foot, and then I left another 5 foot of a porch out on the end of it here.
So Woodworks Construction does a lot of work in the shop, cabinets, bookshelves, and a whole lot more. And then Hydro Customs, which is Austin's business, does a lot of hydro dipping. So not only does he help with Woodworks Construction, but he also does Hydro Customs as well. So he stays very busy.
All right, folks, this is something else I built. My wife is she's an outdoor garden kind of girl, and she loves to grow her own plants and flowers and such as that. So anyway, I've ended up building her a 24 by 24 greenhouse, and she can go ahead, and I built her some long tables in there so she can plant all of her plants in there. And at this point in time of the year, it's nothing but a cat house. And look at there is 3 of the cats right there. And there's one more. Oh, she is right back over there in the corner. That's Miss Ellie over there. But anyway, the cats keep this greenhouse rid of all the mice and anything else that gets in here. They'll take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Richard also built my chicken coop, and he used materials that was left from my greenhouse to build the body of it. And then he had an old camper shell that we used for the top, and it works really well. It has sliding windows that I can open and close, and of course I can open and shut the window in the front. And then it has a nesting box that works really well, and then it has a little staircase that the chickens can walk up to go roost. And so I like the fact that we used the materials that we had already.
Alright, as you know, we're inside the house now. Thank goodness there ain't no wind blowing in here like it is outside. Anyway, me and Susie got to looking for a dining room table big enough for the kids to all sit around and us. And so anyway, we got to looking. We couldn't find one that we really liked. We liked the style of the Amish. Look at that bench. Solid oak. And the drawers are to hold all of her placemats, and they just slide right back in. And so it's a solid, excuse me, solid oak table. And we'll roll on over here, and you can see a red oak pie safe that I built for her. Then we wanted a corner hutch, and it is a Amish style corner hutch. They ended up building it out of some white oak. The rest of this in here is red oak, but I like the look of the white oak. It's an old looking wood. It is old wood. They built a lot of the old furniture out of the white oak. So I ended up buying some white oak and building her a corner hutch. Then they swing on around here, and I built her these are red oak, little shelves that they're floaters, I call them, floating shelves on the wall here. And like I say, she's got her canning jars up there, some of her collection of canning jars. All right, in one of the bedrooms, I was going to surprise her, and I did. I surprised her. I ended up building an old rustic wood headboard. And you know, me and Susie both are Western fanatics, and so anyway, she didn't know I was building this, and so when I brought it into the house, she was totally shocked. All right, in the kitchen area, shortly after I got that big living room built and finished and we moved into it, well, that left us an area here in the kitchen, and she wanted an island built for it. So this is the island that I ended up building her for it. And it's got a sitting area on the other side. A couple people can sit over there or so. Lots of big, deep drawers.
I love the stand that he made me for my KitchenAid mixer. It gives me a whole lot of more room on my island when I'm baking.
She wanted some shelving for some of her cookie jars. Then I surprised her with this here. She likes to decorate the house for seasons. And anyway, I built it out of some old fence panels and put some hose clamps on there and the little quart pint jars, and she changes out the flowers to what season it is. All right, let's start off in the living room here. This is an entertainment center that I had built. Anyway, it's got glass shelving in it, and we ended up putting this a little fireplace down inside there, electric fireplace we like in the wintertime. And this little table here, I built it just for her little radio there, and hold some knickknacks and other things that she wanted. And it's all out of red oak. And we, pretty much everything we got, we always put these old antique glass knobs on everything we build, pretty much. So back over here is a china hutch that I had built. And anyway, it is also red oak, and it's about 6.5 foot tall. Got a couple doors in the bottom, shelving inside for all of Susie's little pretties. It's a nice addition also. We'll swing around in here. Oh, look at all these grandkids and kids. This little cabinet here, we love like old westerns, John Wayne, some of the old ones. And anyway, we like watching those. So we got pretty much every John Wayne movie he ever made. And we keep all of our videos in this cabinet here. We need a place to store them. So I built her a red oak cabinet to match everything else. Up above is a window valance, and guess what? It's made out of red oak also. So anyway, it's pretty cool looking. It's a little bit over 8 foot long, and so anyway, that's really nice, and a couple of big old deer to go with it. And let's kind of back up here, folks, and we'll kind of give you a run around of this room. This is the living room I was telling you about that I built a month after we moved in this house. We'll start over in the corner. That is the exit door that goes out onto the screened-in porch, and we'll swing on around. And if you can't tell, I mean, I love to hunt and fish. So anyway, Susie allows me to put some of my trophies up in here. But anyway, we're back around to the kitchen, all the way around to the grandkids.
And so I just finished Richard's birthday cake. He always wants a homemade German chocolate cake, and so he'll be excited when he sees this, especially when he gets to eat it. And so guys, if you enjoyed the video today, then give me a thumbs up, and thank you again for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you haven't, then guys, just click the subscribe button below, and also click the notification bell, and it will notify you when I'm going to have another video. And so guys, I will see you on Monday for a episode of Monday Motivation at 7:00 a.m. Central Time, and then next Wednesday for an episode of Susie's Secret Recipes at 7:00 p.m. Central Time. Happy trails.